welcome back to my channel. So a couple weeks ago I posted a story time video of some guests that I interacted with when I was working here at Disney. It got an overwhelmingly positive response. I had some people comment down below in that video and ask some questions, and then I posted on Facebook and Instagram to get family and friends questions from back home so I can answer some questions for them too. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I have all my questions right here, and let's just get started. So probably the most common question and the one that I get asked the most is just what's my job, what did I do with the company. I was a merchandise cast member. Basically means I was working retail. You're working in all of the gift shops, you're ringing people up, you're stocking the floors, you're going around helping guests find what they're looking for. That's basically what I did. Also though, merchandise also includes some of the like the balloon cards outside, the bubble cards, the glow cards during the parades. All of that's considered merchandise. When I was offered the position, I had no idea where I was gonna be working at. They don't tell you that until casting down here, where you get your ID and your training schedule and everything. So I had no idea where I was gonna be working. I moved all the way across the country and I had no idea. I could have been in Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom, Disney Springs, and then any of the resorts. They have gift shops inside, so I could have been off property at one of the resorts in those gift shops. I had no idea. At casting, I got my location and I was working, my main store was World of Disney in Disney Springs, which is the largest Disney store in the entire world. I was very, very nervous to work there because I had never been to Disney World before I came down here, and I only went to Disney Springs and I saw that store and it was so crowded and so overwhelming, and I remember walking through that and being like, I really hope I don't get put here, and of all the places I got put there. And so at first I had a really bad attitude about it, and it ended up being amazing, and the people that work there are like a family, and it's pretty cool to say that I worked at the biggest Disney store. So, and for merchandise cast members, we can pick up shifts in any merchandise location. So I don't have to just stay at World of Disney. I could pick up a shift in Magic Kingdom or Epcot, Hollywood Studios, anything. I just couldn't pick up at the resorts because you have to have certain training for that. But so that's basically what I did, just like retail and stuff. Another question I get asked a lot is where did I find the opportunity, or what the process was like getting this job. So I did the Disney College program. I heard about it probably 2 years before I actually did it, and I always watched YouTube videos on people that did it. And then in January of 2016, one of the people that I followed on YouTube, they mentioned that applications had just dropped on the Disney website, and I filled one out. Which I'm gonna do a whole nother video about the whole entire application process because it's really extensive. There's multiple interviews and stuff like that. So I just went online and applied, and I didn't think much of it because between 30 and 50,000 people that apply for this program, and they maybe accept like 5,000 per semester. So I didn't expect much of it. I think it was in February I found out that I had been extended the offer of the merchandise role, and I had 7 days to accept my offer, which was crazy because I didn't think I was gonna get the position. And I lived in Idaho, and I got the offer down for Walt Disney World, which is the complete opposite ends of the country. And I had 7 days to decide if I wanted to up and move. They have the fall program and the fall advantage program. So the fall program is from, I believe, like August until January, and fall advantage is from June to January. And I got offered the June one, so I had about 3 months if I decided to go. I've always been wanting to do this, and I know that since I got offered the position, I would regret it if I was to say no, so I knew I was just gonna make it happen. They do offer housing if you're in the college program, but that's a whole nother story why I opted out of the housing. Yeah, I can do a video on that too, on living in housing versus finding your own apartment, but that also added like another little thing of like stress, is trying to find an apartment without being able to come down and tour them. Another question that I got was, how much did I have to have saved before I moved down there? It's not the same for everybody that does the program, but like I said, I was moving from one end of the country all the way to the other end of the country, so it was a very expensive move, especially since I wasn't living in housing. So I was like a broke college student, obviously, when I applied, and then I had 3 months to somehow raise thousands of dollars to move. So I knew I had to do it in a really, really cheap way. To raise all my money, I knew I just had to sell everything that I owned, and that's really what I did. I sold all my furniture, most of my clothes, because I was moving to Florida and I didn't need winter clothes anymore. I sold everything. I sold everything you can think of until I had basically nothing. I didn't fly. I took my car there, so I had to put everything that I owned inside my car. I just sold everything that wouldn't fit, basically. And then along the way, to save money, I brought like my own food so I wouldn't have to be eating out on the drive. And then I stayed at creepy motels, which if I could go back and redo this experience, I would have tried to get a few more $100s and have stayed in like a nice hotel, because that was probably the most stressful experience. I probably had altogether like $1,000. I definitely scraped by, barely made it when I got here, and I didn't start working until a week after I arrived. So I had no money when I first got here. But like I said, if you want it, you can make it happen. Another question. I like this question a lot, actually, and it is just, is it as fun as it seems? Is it truly how it looks to everybody else? Yes and no. I am so glad that I did this program. I wouldn't take it back. I wouldn't change anything, but it's not all fun and games, and that's one thing that I think people need to take into consideration before they decide to do this. You will work a lot. College programmers are full-time. We're interns, so you get the bad hours. You work on all the holidays. I worked every single holiday of the entire year. They're open 365 days a year. You work anywhere between 40 to 65 hours a week. You could work 6-hour shifts, or you could work 13. I worked, my longest I think was like a 14-hour shift. You barely have time to go to the park. My shifts were later at night, and so some people would go to the parks before their shifts. But going to the parks is so draining, especially in the summer here. It gets like 105 degrees, plus the humidity, which is insane, and it just like, the sun just drains you. So I went to the park a few times before my shifts, and I was just dead tired the rest of the night. So I really tried to only go to the parks on my days off, which was like 1 or 2 days a week. But it's so much fun though. Like the time that you spend in the parks, because you get free entrance obviously into the parks, and around the holiday season, there was like, most of my entire program, I got 40% off of everything in the parks, all the merchandise and everything. So like, it just makes it worth it. It is as fun as it seems, but it's a lot more work than it seems too. The last question I'm gonna answer for today: is it hard to be away from your family? Everybody's different, of course. I'm pretty close to my family, and it wasn't as hard as I thought, but that's not in a bad way at all. Like, I miss my family so much, but a lot of people will leave the program early because they miss their family so much. I'm pretty independent though, so I like to go out and do things on my own. But I was here for all the holidays, so I was away from my family for the first time on Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that stuff, so that was really hard. But I think the hardest part, honestly, for me, is experiencing all these fun things and going to the parks and not being able to experience it with my family. I want to bring everybody down here. Yeah, so it's hard being away from family on holidays and not being able to experience the best time of my life with my family and share that with them. That's the hardest part, I'd say. That's all the questions I'm going to answer today, but I'm going to do a cast member series. So if you have any more questions, please leave them down below in the comment section, and I'd be happy to do another video and answer those questions for you. I'm going to be doing a video on the interviewing process and how to prepare for the interview if you're interested, and I'll do another video on like the moving process and how to move in a cheap and successful way and safely. Yeah, but if you have any other suggestions or things you want to see, go ahead and leave those down below. If you like these Disney videos, please give it a thumbs up so I know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching and for asking these questions, and I'll see you next time.